Right, here we are, 15 not out, and it just has a great ring to it. You're watching the Monday Night Live with me, Avnish Hegde, your host, which has absolutely been delighted with this property. And of course, the two men in strength with me have been, of course, Nikhil Popat, our very own Nikki P, and not to forget, Akshay Kumaraswamy, who's the king of all rounds and has deep cricket knowledge. If you guys have been enjoying this podcast for the longest time, I hope you guys will enjoy this one because we're going to be doing something very special tonight, including awards being distributed in terms of a little bit of tongue in cheek because we've gained a lot of followers, a lot of traction, a lot of love from you guys in the comments, and we've got so many guests. But it's only fair for me to make a little toast on this Monday night. I have my little drink here. I hope you guys have yours. But look, Akshay and Nix, it's been a fantastic journey, man. Let's just cheers and toast to that first and foremost. I'll give you a couple of stats before you guys give me your thoughts about this Monday Night Live journey. And I'll take some of the comments. I already see you guys cracking in. So keep that coming through and like this video. But Monday Night Live stats, are you ready for it? 50 episodes, that's a no-brainer. 440 days since we started, which was July 31st, 2023, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, the views and listens that we've got across all platforms for Monday Night Live, I'm talking about YouTube, Twitter, Insta, pretty much all the posts and everything has gained us about 500K, which is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And our average views per week is 4.3K. It's a small community, but we built it over the years and we built it with you guys. And last but certainly not least, we've done it from Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi. Akshay did it in Sri Lanka. I did it from Thailand, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Vietnam. It is just unbelievable. So, boys, thank you yet again for your 50th appearance. It's brilliant. Akshay is actually on 49. Tell me which one Akshay missed out, because there was one that I was doing the research on and he missed out.
That's true.
The 15th show. Go check that one out. But nonetheless, Nix and Akshay, warm welcome. Nix, let's start with you. Monday Night Live. What a property, what a show, and here we are.
The absolutely pleasure and honor, to be very honest. Always dreamt of being part of something like this. And again, it may not seem a big thing for others, but it is for me because MNL has been like a proper dedication bit, it doesn't matter where we are, what we are doing. I have ran post to post, whether it is in the Statue of Unity, whether it is somewhere other place. Dude, Monday night, $8, I need Wi-Fi, I need good connection, I need good camera, because this is something I would not miss for anything. We've done this on holidays, we've done this on the New Year as well. So you couldn't ask for anything better in terms of dedication and discipline, that the world can go wherever it wants to. MNL is not going anywhere. And I think it's kudos to all three of us, and not just us three, but a lot of people working behind, whether it is Vikas, Swann, Manish, everybody who's worked on every single thing related to MNL. So kudos to every one of us, because all of us have played a part in getting so far. So yeah, cheers to all.
Shout out to everyone. Absolutely love it. Before I get Akshay's thoughts, a kind of reminder to, of course, like this particular video before we get started. That's the MNL drill. You guys know that. Tanveer 53 going on to say 50th for the episode. Guys, keep it up. Excited for the 50th MNL, saying Melville, big wow. Part saying excited as well. And Santosh Udupa saying congrats for running more MNL episodes than India's first innings total. Yeah, I mean, that's something to look about it in terms of India's 46 all out. We will talk about all the cricketing stuff later on in the show. If you guys are curious, I'll tell you how it's going to work. But just some more comments right now. Amit Kurai, always good to see you. Freaking awesome. Going on to say freaking good things as always. Vishal Kulkarni. And Sudarshan and Sandhu saying, where is Somesh? I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little cat out of the bag here. We're going to be doing an absolutely fun live show starting tomorrow. It's a English one. So, of course, join Somesh, Akshay, and Vikas as they dissect all the topics in the game that we love the most. And CD going on to say, good to meet Hegde bro yesterday in the Chinnaswamy. In fact, I mean, it was so heartwarming, Akshay and Nix, because I was doing fan cams yesterday and one bloke just came across and said, I know you because of the Monday Night Live. And me and Vikas looked at each other saying, wow, that's incredible. Because we've got appreciation for fan cams. We've got appreciation for game nights, Deep Point, Nix's fantasy shows. But Monday Night Live, amazing to welcome all of y'all. So Akshay, like I said, great 50 episodes we've done. We've done it on New Year's, on Christmas, and pretty much given our heart and soul. Which one really tickles you the most? Because even from the guest perspective, which we'll see on in a bit, we had some esteemed guests, man. Talking David Gower, Jared Kimber, the likes of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in terms of guests, for me personally, Swann comes to mind because an absolute legend, a player that I've grown up watching. So just to have an opportunity to ask him questions, to talk to him about cricket was, stuff of dreams. But personally, one of my favorites, again, off the top of my head, I don't think I'll ever have a clear-cut favorite. But off the top of my head, one of the first ones that comes to my memory is the certain IPL-related episode we done last December. It was the first time we crossed 200 live viewers. It was just going manic, and all of us had our thoughts about what's happening, ye chal raha hai, wo chal raha hai. And that was probably the episode when Camden Green State had just been announced. And I was trying to stick my head out and saying, nahi yaar, ye acha hai, utna bura nahi hai shayad. And like always, of course, RCB bias. But that entire episode, it went on for probably 2.5 hours, if I'm not wrong. We discussed each of the 10 teams' retentions. That was absolutely manic, and I love that episode to bits.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely love that. And remember that as well, because every time we talk IPL cricket, the community absolutely loves it. So much so that they just rewatch it and things like that. So freaking awesome. Going on to reiterate, saying cricket community is pretty big. Running a channel about cricket and getting so many followers is no easy job. And you guys are doing a great one. So thank you for that appreciation, I guess. Santosh Sharma saying, was it Swann who gave Avnish resemblance to Shoaib Bashir? That happened. So many crazy things which I cast my mind back on. I remember we made a meme out of Nikhil comparing himself to Jaya Bachchan. And with the Thali coming out. So different things we've got on. We've got a Delhi Capitals analyst. I remember vaguely Sriram Somajula. He was there, a Bangladesh fan, a Sri Lankan fan. We got an IPL fashion police, if I may call her that, Mansi, which she was rating jerseys. So we've done all kinds of things in these last 50 episodes. And it's good to know that you guys are with us for another one, right? So I might have kind of already let you guys know that we're going to do an awards night right now in terms of just some of the best dance moments we've seen. And we'll also put a live poll out for you guys to get interactive right now and tell us which moment you like the best. So there's 5 categories. There's nomination videos, which we'll get to. But before that, I just want to, of course, tell you what else we're planning to discuss in this Monday Night Live, because it's been a fucking amazing weekend of cricket. India, New Zealand comes to mind. Pakistan, England, and previewing that test in Rawalpindi comes to mind, because a Pindi pitch has had fans around it. If you guys know, you know. And not to forget the small matter of Sri Lanka, West Indies, Bangladesh, South Africa today saw 16 wickets fall in Mirpur, and the small matter of the IPL, because MS Dhoni, he has 11 days to tell us whether he's going to be playing or not. 5 p.m. 31st October is the deadline for all of that. So look, lots to get into, and all your coupons to be won too. So Akshay, just explain it to our guests, because your usual Howzzat will be there. And what will they win?
Yeah, a slight change there. 50th episode, so we thought of trying a bit of flavor there. Instead of Amazon coupons, this time around, our winners stand to win a couple of pizzas from Olio. Fantastic pizzas. Do check them out. Do give them some love as well. And yeah, when Howzzat comes across, we will spare more details then.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that one as well. Superhero Rises randomly saying thoughts on Ishan Kishan is asked to be captain. I mean, that's literally thoughts of us 3 representing Team India in the years to come. That's never going to happen in a million years, Superhero Rises, with all due respect to Ishan Kishan. Right, enough of us right now. But meanwhile, we show you all the awards and the nominations. The question of the day, we'll put it out there for you guys. Which one did you guys love the most? I know Santosh Sharma, Abbas Kunde, there's new followers. We've got many names I missed out. Vasant Narayan comes to mind as well. Tell us which one you like the most in terms of the Monday Night Live episodes. There's plenty of it which comes to mind, like Akshay and Nix was talking about. Right, without further ado then, let's get into the nominations. The first one is going to be literally the best comments, because look, we've got so many comments and there were so many fun ones, and it was a hard job for producer Shaunak and myself and Manish, the editor, to go through, but we tried to kind of get the best ones. There's plenty of the others we missed out, but here's the nominations.
MNL's best comment moment, and the nominees are Sachin,
कॉपियन क्या है यार? ये क्या नाम आज तुम लोग जो मेरे को मैं सुना भी नहीं हूँ. Wish I was that positive. Another auction, another blunder by RCB. Where are the bowlers?
MNL 2024.
Shubham Gupta,
Lifting Tournament Cup, which is not the IPL trophy. We all want that indeed.
I'm not going to really quickly.
Ramanak
Will
Kiran,
England find the next Swann/Treadwell, or have you already?
Treadwell, I miss Treaders. Let me tell you, James Treadwell is one of the nicest human beings I've ever known in my life. What a great bloke.
Now, those are the three nominations. Now, we picked out the last one is because if you remember that comment, that irked Swann to compare me to Shoaib Bashir, and then it's been a long-standing joke. The second one was that man, Shubham, calling right in terms of India winning the World Cup, which is not another IPL. So well done to that for foreseeing the future. And Akshay's absolute rant over there in one of the shows where a fan said on, "What are you smoking, mate?" So look, those are the three options. Boys, no biases, plenty of comments, which has always tickled us in this podcast. But anything which comes to mind apart from these three? Akshay, I'll start with you here.
I'm just trying to think. There are a lot. I'm pretty sure there have been so many comments taking a dig at me. I'm just trying to think of the most hilarious ones where even I, was amused by. बहुत सारे आ रहे हैं. Like during the, I mean, just before the IPL, if I'm not wrong, it was during the jersey episode where we were talking about different jerseys and whatnot. And I, for one, wasn't the biggest fans of the SRE jersey. तो किसी ने कुछ बोला था कि मतलब मुझे fashion की समझ नहीं है, something on those lines. It was a hilarious comment. Of course, I don't remember the specifics. Way too many comments thanks to our very, very, very highly engaged chat. So yeah, but lots to think of.
Lots to think of. I know a lot of appreciation has come my way in terms of all the ladies out there, which is well documented. But there's plenty of appreciation for Nix. If you remember 3 or 4 episodes ago, someone called him cute. Everyone calls him the brilliant predictor that he is. But Nix, anything which has really warmed your heart in terms of comments?
I mean, of course, warmed the heart in very different senses. But I think Down Under also started in the MNL itself, right? I think that is when the entire facade began about Akshay and how it's still something that people call it. So I think that's also credit to MNL. Baki, I think the best part for me in comments has been a lot of, the 12th man segment that we've had. Plenty of people have been so vocal and very, very, very passionate about the game. And that is something that we're building to. So I think to me, each and every of those comments, whether it is related to the KPL or CPL or whichever league happening around the world, I think it's always been good to have all of these questions come in.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for you guys to build on that. Shlok goes on to say, clear winner here. Akshay, you're my favorite. And that is absolute love. I think from one RCB fan to another. So keep your comments coming through and your appreciation in that case. Time to move on to the next nomination then. And you guys can, of course, let us know. We might be putting a poll out as well. So producer, let us know how things are working behind the scenes right now. Right, time to our next nomination. This one is the best monologue because a lot of us have just gone on in terms of rants and all our insight being lent on. And there are few to choose from. I think our editor has done a good job trimming it out and choosing 3 yet again. Take a look.
MNL's Best Monologue. And the nominees are
My quick
Avnish Hegde
on this man called Cameron Green is the fact that he's everything you want a cricketer to be. He's 2 meters tall, he bowls well, bats well, safest pair of hands, bucket hands really, born leader. He's already impressed as a teenager. He burst onto the scene. I remember he just absolutely took it as a rookie in the BBL, got a contract, then he made his BBL debut in 2019, and here he is in 2023 as a World Test Championship winner, as a World Cup winner. We're getting perhaps the Shane Watson of this generation. They called him the Flintoff and a Ponting, and both of them had a child who would be named Cameron Green. Look, there's lots of things we can talk about with Cameron Green. I'm excited.
Akshay Kumar Swann.
History in the making, guys. Next Monday, Nepal's first victory against the test playing nation. Avnish is still not sure what I'm... Okay, he's probably now getting an idea of...
Yeah, first of all, it's 4th September Monday.
अच्छा, my bad. I stand corrected on that. ठीक है, dates 19-20 का फर्क चलता है भाई. ठीक है, चलो. 4th September, Nepal creates history. Their first win against the test playing nation. If I'm not wrong, across formats.
They are saying when they play Pakistan first, they won't beat Pakistan, but they'll beat India.
I mean, you asked me, I gave you my opinion. अरे इसमें क्या है भाई?
Nikhil Popat.
From these 2 T20 internationals, essentially 5 before the World Cup. Nikhil?
Which is good, and again tells you everything. That is nothing. They'll stick to the same bunch of people. It'll be the same 6, the same 5 bowling options. No 6 bowler being tried because new conditions you don't even know. Sometimes you don't even read conditions well at home. So I don't see them taking any risk, which is surprising because there are just 5 T20s left now. 2 here and 3 against Afghanistan. I hope we see a lot more trial and error, because I don't think seeing Tilak Verma in the IPL with the ball will help, because I don't know whether Mumbai has to do it. They don't have the need to do it, and I don't think the BCCI at any point of time is in any space to tell them कि भाई try करो, so that we want to see for the T20 World Cup. वो नहीं होने वाला.
I mean, again, so many which has gone on, and Nick's went on for a while with that. It's kind of packaged well. All of us went on in so many episodes with various monologues and rants. Do you guys have any at the top of your heads in the comments? Let us know, of course. Santosh Sharma saying cheeky part of MNL is Avnish uploads on Insta stories during the show without knowing when he does it. The finger movement is key there. Also, I remember one of the MNL episodes where Akshay was sneezing crazily without a gap, but still made it to the end of the show. Indeed. And Ishan Jain saying something about KL Rahul. Look, Ishan, I'll take it. Not to be impolite, where, of course, just finishing off this Monday Night Live, we'll pander to your comments in the 12th man section, indeed. But props to you for joining the podcast on this evening. Right, comments done. Now we, of course, just reflected in the monologues. Akshay, I mean, you've been a man who's had multiple monologues. Anything you cast your mind back on with great affinity?
Recency bias, I guess, so I can't look past the MS Dhoni one that clearly wasn't, crowd favorite. Received a lot of, let's say, colorful comments, colorful messages. But yeah, it was an interesting monologue. Maybe in hindsight, I could have been a bit careful, but the point is we all are trying to be honest. But one of my first ever such moments was, of course, who can forget the iconic, "Arey, pakka KL Rahul RCB, arey, pata hai apne ko." Because LSG, the official account of LSG did respond to that. So that was hilarious, but sure.
Yeah, there's been multiple with Knicks as well in terms of detailed analysis, predicting the future. But there's been times where very rarely he's kind of lost his cool. We do want to show the audience that because, look, why? It just brings out a smile on Nikhil's face. Nikhil, any other times you smile with certain monologues you've had?
Even the one that we just saw, it had a line. Sometimes you don't read conditions well at home. And it cannot have been said more with prophecy and all of that. But yeah, I think most of my rants have been probably on catching or runouts maybe. But yeah, I'll give that title to Akshay happily because we need more clicks, right? So yeah, it's okay.
No, indeed. Alan James remembering that one from me, which was, of course, in the nominations. In fact, when you see that rant again, I don't know which episode it was, but I went on to compare Cameron Green to like a hot-ass girl of Hinge or Tinder. And I know you guys remember that vividly. I said, you have to take this one out to sushi and stuff, but she'll deliver for you in the long run. So that was the analogy I was making there. Shlok Barge saying Akshay can beat Karthik Aryan in a monologue. What's with Karthik Aryan? Is he been delivering monologues off late?
I mean, not awfully. That's been his thing, right? All his career since his debut. But again, not something I want to be associated with. So let's stay away from it.
You can easily start from problem. Problem ye hai ke, so it's apt.
And maybe he's the Karthik Aryan of the Monday Night Live pod with the clean shave and all of that. So it begs to be known from Shlok. Let us know. Keep your comments coming through. 2 more nominations to get through to. And the next one is, of course, the rants. Plenty of them. Take a look and tell us which one you liked.
MNL's best rants. And the nominees are...
The WPL was supposed to help the Indian team move on, build a new setup, new squad and all of that. A, we still aren't sure of the coach. B, we're still not sure what our squad is supposed to be. We literally did not take any of the top performers from the WPL.
No, seems like IPL.
भाई IPL 15 साल से हम यहाँ आदत हो गई है ना.
फिर भी नहीं. That is the exact point. If you haven't used IPL after 15 years of its existence, it's very high of you to expect कि एक साल के WPL से they'll suddenly find the answer.
I mean, yeah, 3rd September could be history in the making, guys. Next Monday, Nepal's first victory against the Test playing nation. Avnish is still not sure what okay, he's probably now getting an idea of
first of all, it's 4th September Monday.
My bad. I stand corrected on that. ठीक है, dates 19-20 का फर्क चलता है भाई. ठीक है, चलो. 4th September, Nepal creates history. Their first one against the Test playing nation. If I'm not wrong, across formats.
They are saying when they play Pakistan first, they won't beat Pakistan, but they'll beat India.
I mean, you asked me, I gave you my opinion. अरे इसमें क्या है भाई?
I am a big admirer of Dhoni myself, but that doesn't change the fact that come IPL 2025 he should be playing here simply because एक तो नंबर 8 नंबर 9 पे अगर आपका कीपर आके सिर्फ 5 बॉल खेल रहा है, to be honest that's going to be a liability because you would want your keeper.
But why is that a liability? He's hitting 5 balls 20, bro. He's giving you runs.
You don't select a player to play 5 balls in an innings. There's no
Why
rule.
not?
There's no rule.
Why not?
अभी 5 बॉल नहीं होता.
Right, that was ridiculous. Not from just Akshay and my sake that day, because we had a little bit of that, but also what is Manish doing in terms of not segregating the awards right properly, because the second clip was repeated. So he's gonna get somebody gonna get a beating tonight. In a professional sense, it's not like a fucking absolutely hammer, my guys. But look, in tongue in cheek, let us know again. Multiple rounds for you guys to think. We're just doing this, just honestly to celebrate the community and you guys and have a little laugh at the start of the week. Right, time to move on because we have plenty of other things to talk to about, and we'll just finally finish off with plenty of guests that we've seen. So tell us right now, and this is a good one, which one did you guys enjoy the most? Because normally it's been last minute calls, favors, me charming certain people, but we've got them on the podcast. And here's just a look back at some of the great names that we've got and cherry picking the potential 8 of them.
MNL's best guest. And the nominees are Charu Sharma, Manners, Jake Jenkins, David Gower, Graham Swann, Nick Knight, W.V. Raman, Mark Butcher.
Right, Mark Butcher, ridiculous that in terms of randomly popping up on that channel of ours that day, but many people saying their own things. I think Jared Kimber was my favorite. Akshay, who comes to mind? We had WV, we had Sridhar.
Yeah, for me it has to be Swanny. Like I said, also because that trademark quirky humor of his, he never loses out on that, whether be it a live show, whether be it something else. It never, like, I thought I was a part of one of those select dugout shows. वो बात करे जा रहा है, वो humor भी है, वही ये कर रहा है, मजाक उड़ा रहा है. So it was great fun. So definitely has to be Swanny for me.
David Gower, Darren Gough, Nikhil, who excited you? I say Nick Knight.
Yeah, I think Nick Knight was also good in terms of how candid and honest he was about how England are going about their things. The one that stays with me for a long time is, of course, Sridhar. I remember asking him about KL Rahul's drop catch against Bangladesh, and he's like, "Dude, you have an elephant's memory and sorts." So, see, it was great for us to also talk to such people and get their POVs, because we talked with a lot of Sri Lankan fans, or whether it is the Pakistan fans that we had Behram also having a rant of his own. So it is good to have that POV as well. So I think lots and lots of good memories to come through.
Yeah, indeed. Santosh Urupa saying Mark Butcher, because even Faksha and Nix were expecting him to show up. Last minute guest, indeed. Shlok Warke saying best guest is Jaykant Shikri Somesh Agarwal, who he has an absolute rant with. So Som, if you're watching all the way across in Europe, please, of course, like this video as well. Swann's one, and Charu Sharma was my other favorite. Charu Sharma also a great insight what he lent us there. I remember, like Nick said, the fan POVs. We got a Nepal fan on board, a Sri Lankan fan on board, a Bangladesh fan on board. We, in fact, have so many ideas in terms of getting other guests involved as well. So who knows?
South Africa, we interacted with them during the World Cup. Unfortunately, we've not had the opportunity to, have them here. But it'll be great fun. By the way, did come across a couple of Kiwi fans, so hopefully we can have one of those as well sometime sooner or later at least.
Yeah, 100%. And even this man was supposed to make his appearance, Santosh. He will. I know he's commentating right now on that Sri Lanka West Indies series, which we'll talk about later on in the show. Saray Saha, welcome on, and we will discuss all of this in the 12th man section. Good question, because speaking of Ramandeep, he took an absolute blinder in that emerging tournament. What a catch, India v Pakistan. Go check it out if you guys have missed it. Right, time to, of course, end this MNL Awards, because plenty of things to talk about in terms of the cricketing world. But hope you guys enjoyed that, and tell us, honestly, the question of the night that we're asking. Which MNL episode did you love the most? Which is still running. Feel free to have your say in the comments. Right. Time to, of course, pander to all the cricketing news which is making global headlines. And we'll start with India, New Zealand, and that features first up in Best of the Rest. Right, time to discuss all the things which is making news in the cricket world, and we'll take a look at first the India-New Zealand series which is going on, and look back a little bit in terms of that game, because obviously we've stopped our review show, so you guys must be pondering what our thoughts are with India going out and really facing something that they've never witnessed before. 46 all out in the first morning, probably batting the hardest 2 hours in the whole game, and then New Zealand doing brilliant things through O'Rourke and of course Henry first, and then later on the man of the match, Rachin Ravindra. Akshay, your 2 pence first and foremost on it. Again, do you agree with the large public in terms of winning the toss, batting first in diabolical conditions, team composition, and Rohit Sharma again being tactically void during the game?
Yeah, it was a very bizarre call, to be honest. Opting to bat first under those conditions. The only justifiable excuse or reasoning for that is कि boss, हमें पता था कि ये batting के लिए नहीं है. We wanted to test ourselves, which I don't know if this is the kind of India side that would do something like that. But if that were the case, ठीक है. Baki, there's absolutely no cricketing merit based on which you can say कि batting first made sense to us. And what was even more annoying was the fact that everyone who wants to defend the Indian team is trying to defend that by saying, "Yeah, Tom Latham ने भी तो वही बोला था toss time में कि he wanted to bat first." Who cares उसने क्या बोला भाई? टॉस में कोई कुछ भी बोल दे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You've seen it play out in front of you. You've clearly seen was it easy to bat. So why does it even matter? So that was very bizarre. But more than the first innings itself, I know 46 all out was a black swan event, an outlier. So I wouldn't look too much into it. For me, it was actually day 4 that 1 hour phase where we collapsed from 400 for 3 to 454 all out. That's where we lost the game here, because at 400 for 3, everyone, I was at the venue, so everyone around us, all of us felt ki boss, यहाँ से 150 रन और बना दो, 200-250 का target रख दो, and the game is in our hands. It's ours to lose. And it really seemed that could be possible. Unfortunately, Sarfaraz got out after he made his 150, and then Pant followed suit, and from there it was just a bad collapse with the new ball. So that's where I felt we sort of became a bit too complacent, is what I felt, because we tired down the Kiwi bowlers. हमें लगा कि boss अभी ठीक है, अभी हम लोग manage कर सकते हैं, but the new ball really wreaked havoc for us.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because many people are, of course, pointing out the Rachin Saudi partnership, which, of course, just absolutely applied salt in the wounds. Nix, do you go that direction, or do you agree with what Akshay is saying, where India got complacent after pulling the game back in their favor?
I think it is a bit harsh if you want to call it that way, but that's how cruel the game of cricket is, that sometimes you can be 150, but still the problem could be you could be one of those factors for the team not going on to win. So firstly, I'll also commend the team to be able to compete after getting shot out for 46. I can't think of too many teams in the past who've gotten out for 50 and then still being able to wipe out a lead of 356. That was commendable effort, but it still doesn't paper over the cracks that have been there since the England series. I remember ranting about not using the bowling enough. I think this was one of those poorest tests that India have had in terms of tactics. To me, India did not lose it at 46. Yes, 408 to 460 is a bad collapse, but I can still not take Saudi scoring 65. He can play the best knock of his life, but I cannot understand how you will not bowl or be better prepared for something like a Team Saudi. And it tells you how great or harsh or poor this game is, that you read the conditions entirely wrong. You expected a dry day, you played 3 spinners. You had to bowl Jasprit Bumrah 8 overs in the second game. You did not give the new ball to Ravi Ashwin. I think this is a test where the coach and the captain should look at themselves and be like, dude, this is the worst case scenario that we could have ever had in terms of planning and everything. 233 for 7. That's where I think the game is lost, because from there on, you ended up giving them 170 more runs. You give them 50 runs, 60 runs, it is still so many less. So to me, you lost it. Despite that 46 to tell that you lost it with the ball, speaks volumes about how horrible India were with their planning, and it's a shock, but it's not a surprise. Sometimes you get away by not being good. This maybe it's a good time to just wake up to that reality.
Okay, Prashan Sandhu saying this New Zealand's greatest day of cricket till now. Indeed, I mean, what a day for New Zealand in terms of the White Ferns also pocketing the World Cup. We'll come to that in just a bit. But sticking with this test and just looking forward a little bit as well, because a lot of rumors circling about KL's spot. Tushar asking this to Nikhil, saying, do you see KL Rahul being dropped in the next game, assuming Gill is back? And how is it going to be for Team India? Because you can't drop a bloke who's just scored 150, i.e. Sarfaraz Khan. Gill did get 100 in that Bangladesh series, so he's, of course, in form, you would like to think. And KL Rahul, man, I'm a Bangalore guy. I love him to bits, but how much could I keep holding on to the 2018 KL Rahul in the IPL, to the 2021 Lord 100, to the 2022 Cape Town 100? It just baffles me because he has so much talent. So the question, Nikhil Popar and Akshay, in the next 3 minutes, KL Rahul or Sarfaraz Khan, who's going to take that position? Nick, I'll start with you here.
I think it is straightforward. It has to be Sarfaraz. I think we have defended KL far more than KL has defended his case, as unfortunate as it is. And sometimes you have to take that bullet for the team. It would be absolutely criminal to drop Sarfaraz. You have to take into consideration the circumstances and the kind of cricket that you play. That is the kind of cricket that we are actually expecting. If you think about it, that's the kind of cricket we want KL Rahul to play. Be free, play fearless cricket, play your shots. But at this point of time, it's not coming through. I mean, the ball that he got out in the first innings, I think it just sums up KL Rahul's entire cricket career. And to make it worse, you see the drop catch. Again, technically not a drop because he ducked. I have never seen anybody duck under a catch. So that was the first again with KL Rahul. So to me, Sarfaraz plays. I actually will not be surprised if they only drop a pacer and get in Gill. So I'm open to that idea as well. That again, we can say whatever we want to, but Pune will spin. How much ever will spin, we don't know. But there could be a possibility that they play only one pacer and 3 spinners and they get Gill in for Siraj.
Interesting. Pune will spin by the looks of it because the black soil has been a big feature part of that pitch. The third test that Pune will host, remember the first one we lost to Australia 2017, the second one Virat's double against South Africa, and then this one. So Akshay, again, KL or Sarfaraz for you, because of course we all love KL, but how much could you give a long rope to him in this format?
Yeah, I mean, let me first begin with the fact that I was completely impressed with Sarfaraz Khan, and it's I've been very happy to see that he's been able to make the switch from domestic cricket to international cricket seamlessly. But even then, I don't think it's as big a conundrum in my head. KL Rahul has to continue simply because BGT के पहले टेस्ट में KL Rahul ही खेलने वाला है. वो पता है. There's no way on earth Sarfaraz is going to start. Like, that's how I'm looking at this, which means you need to give KL enough game time. And also, KL's batting at number 6 right now, right? And number 6 पे उसने खराब नहीं किया. I know ये वाला match in Bangladesh वाली match, मतलब ये वाले दो series का हम लोग देख रहे हैं. South Africa में भी he done well. And importantly, if you remember, Karun Iyer scored a triple century in his last innings. He also did not get to play after that. Like, that's the way, I'm sorry for being very cliche, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Your full strength 11, unfortunately, will have KL starting over Sarfaraz. I completely loved Sarfaraz's knock, but Sarfaraz, he played in the first place only because Gill wasn't available, if I have to look at it very bluntly. Yeah.
The thing is, with KL Rahul now's form being a concern, I'm thinking, will it be again a different scene employed in Pune? Because we know what happened to Pant because he didn't keep the whole test in Bangalore because of that knee. Will they rest him? Make KL keep because, of course, KL can do anything, so they'll throw the gloves to KL. Get in Sundar there is another option because he's been added to the test match, and we'll come to him in a bit. And Sarfaraz plays, Gill plays as well. So essentially, Pant gets dropped, Pacer gets dropped, and then you see Gill, Sarfaraz, and KL play. Is that a possibility, Nick?
I think that might be too much. And while I agree to that long-term thought, yeah, maybe in the BGT KL Rahul will play, but I don't see. I mean, I've been someone who's always backed KL enough, but at this point of time, I feel we are not seeing anything positive from KL Rahul to tell you that he'll deliver. And that I think is as harsh as cricket is, that you have to go by current form. You cannot end up losing the New Zealand series and then not even make it to the WTC final, hoping that BJT mein KL Rahul will come good. So again, it is a call that I'm sure they'll have to be very, very sure of, because the one reason where you can also think that, okay, maybe they will not drop KL is because they did not change his spot. Now, we spoke about getting a designated number 3. They pushed Virat up to 3. They did not disturb the spot for KL Rahul. So maybe that is the line they're thinking, as Akshay thought. But to me, I don't think it will be good to drop Sarfaraz, because if you're thinking about BGT, think about BGT later. Today, now we have a test to win in Pune. You could end up losing 2 tests in a series which is unheard of in Indian cricket. So I don't know. Again, it is not about that you are afraid of losing. It's about just rewarding someone who's done well. So and again, the only way they can possibly keep KL is if you say that Pant can't keep and you want to rest him, then you give the gloves to KL. So Pant goes out, Gill comes in, nobody's harmed.
Okay, interesting. Part saying KL can't keep in Asia. He didn't keep in the England series because that gave the debut for Dhruv Jurel. Vikas Shukla, big KL fan. Wink, wink. Vikas, it's high time we should judge a character that one offers. KL has disappointed enough. He's had his say. And Ashutosh Bajpayee saying, if KL still plays, better tell batters grinding in domestic cricket to sit at home or find a job. And it makes you think, Akshay, whether KL...
Sorry, to these comments as well, number 6 पे किसका जगह KL खा रहा है, मेरे को वो समझना, like, because
point is KL जगह खाने का बात नहीं. He hasn't done anything for you to say that he deserves that spot over a guy who scored 150.
That I agree. I completely agree. In isolation, I completely agree. Does KL deserve a spot over Sarfaraz? No, given his recent knock. But if you have to look at India's full strength 11, and if they want to field a full strength 11, should Shubman Gill be available, then invariably it will be KL Rahul batting at number 6, simply because that's the position he's been given.
Correct. But if he fails, dare I say, in Pune, in Mumbai, and Sarfaraz continues his run of form, Gill doing what he's done and has the experience of playing in Australia, it's not like KL doesn't, then do you think India look past KL in that first test at Perth and play Sarfaraz there, take a punt on him?
Bro, Perth में तुम सीधा क्यों? It's unfair on Sarfaraz. It's very unfair on Sarfaraz, and importantly, KL hasn't done too badly overseas. वो तुम्हें याद रखना ही पड़ेगा. I'm not saying he's got the greatest of numbers, but again, the 2022 century in Cape Town, then earlier this year also he had a century. Where was that? Was that Centurion, if I'm not wrong, earlier this year? So there is clearly a lot. I mean, of course, potential की तो हम बात नहीं कर रहे. हमें पता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में तो वो start करेगा, and this is not an assumption that's being made कि talent है, simply because Rohit Sharma ने भी बोला था. Number 6 was a spot given to him earlier this year. He's played 6 innings so far. So if you're going to say it is unfair on Sarfaraz, which is a very valid point, don't you think it'll also be unfair on KL Rahul की 6 innings में तुमने decide कर लिया कि बहुत अभी इससे आगे बढ़ना है हमें? That's all I'll have to say.
I'm just thinking from an Indian middle order perspective in terms of all these talents we have come through. Sarfaraz has taken his chance now. Even Santosh is asking, assume Gill comes in and has post scores. So it's almost a game of musical chairs. Vikas saying, man, bin KL, you can literally play even Akshay Patel at 6.
इंडिया में किसी को भी खिला लो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I agree. इंडिया में किसी को भी खिला लो, but point being कि उसको भी गेम टाइम चाहिए ना बॉस. तुम अगर उसको यहाँ पे रेस्ट करोगे ताकि ये मैच जीतना, तो फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में वो सीधा जाके खेलेगा, वहां पे हक दिया. And imagine if the team gives that excuse कि he's not had enough game time, then who looks silly?
Okay, KL's test debut in first hunt came in Australia. We know that. Vikas Shukla saying Akshay is mentally prepared for KL and RCB. Fair point. Sports fans saying, what does KL even offer at number 6? Why be so adamant? We will give him every position of batting before throwing him out of the team. What has he given you in terms of conviction as a fan, Akshay, in terms of KL Rahul at number 6 in test? I mean, it's still early days, but again, the KL opener, I kind of vibe with, but that's not happening anytime soon. So at number 6, what is this role you expect of KL?
No, it's not about what I like about KL at number 6. It's, of course, there's a lot of bias because I rate KL the batter very highly. And like Nikhil Bhai said earlier in previous episodes, he is his own biggest enemy. And that's the sad truth. Like the way he's gotten out, अभी वो first innings में down the leg side, तुम ऐसे surface पे बाकी लोग ball touch नहीं कर पा रहे, तुम down the leg side clip करके आ जाते हो, तो हम क्या बोलें? So that way, like he is sort of going through what Sanju Samson has been going through in white ball cricket. So chances बहुत consistently नहीं मिले, जब मिले उसने लिया नहीं ठीक से. But now the way Sanju has taken it up, with that century recently against Bangladesh, I'm just hoping Rahul eventually comes good. I'm more than happy to see him walking out of the 11. But right now, if this is the position given to him, he needs to be given some game time. Itna to command karta hai based on not just what he's done so far for India, but given his potential. And that's something that even Team India recognizes. Rohit Sharma ko bhi humne 5 saal uthaya tha uska boj. We've reaped rewards for it much later. I'm not saying KL can do something like that, but I just hope he is able to.
See, I've said on this very podcast before that KL Rahul will be our test batter in the next 7 to 8 years at that number 5, number 6 position. But it's kind of times like this, I question that purely because I look at him and I don't get that much confidence as a fan from the outside saying he's doing something different to change his game. I understand the calmness he resonates through his personality. And often that's perceived as boring. Often that's perceived that he doesn't care. But that's far from the truth. And I really hope that KL does take that position and makes it his at number 6, because it's a very important position in Test cricket, let alone cricket, because you're invariably shepherding the tail. Let's quickly finish up this KL chat, because Alan James saying if KL's dropped after Rohit saying that they didn't want to mess up his position, it'll be absolutely baffling. But at the same time, Sarfaraz's innings can't also be ignored. Crazy times ahead indeed. KL's selection looks like a PCB decision, saying Ashutosh Bajpai, that Munda Changasi. So let's pick him. And plenty of other questions coming in, like this one from Nitin Muthuraman. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Will Bumrah be rested? And a lot alluding to the Pune test. So let's just quickly forecast that. And it's crystal ball time. What's going to happen? And give me your 11s, guys, because let's uncomplicate it for the guys in the comments. Nick, I'll start with you, putting you on the spot here. Your 11 for the Pune test.
Yeah, as I said, if it's supposed to spin, I'll drop Siraj and I would play Gill. That would be in a long batting order, very deep. And then I have 3 spinners and a pacer. And Jai Mata then. No other changes.
Okay, so 4 bowling options essentially.
Yeah, and you will want spinners to bowl a lot more, because again, the primary and the biggest assumption is it will spin from ball 1. If that's happening, then Jai Mata di time. What's there to worry?
Akshay, so pretty much just a one change. Siraj going out, Gill coming in, and then playing the same pacers. I beg your pardon, bowlers. 1 pacer and 3 spinners. What about the other pacer on the bench who was apparently dropped for this one, Akash Deep? Does he come back in, or because of the nature of surface in Pune, you expect him to probably play a role in the Wankhede, let alone this test?
Yeah, it's a black soil surface. So black soil, maybe agar ye low and slow wala black soil hai, to bhai, it's never going to change. Starting say it'll act that way and it'll pretty much remain the same way. So given that, I don't see a lot of merit in going for Akash Deep. But I don't know if 4 bowlers are good enough. Yeah, because agar again, at the risk of sounding biased, under an aggressive captain like Kohli, I would have been fine with 4 bowlers. But the way Rohit Sharma used his bowlers in the last test, उसके बाद तो मैं सिर्फ 4 ऑप्शन के साथ बहुत मतलब ऐसे दिल पे पत्थर रख के जाऊंगा.
I want to ask you that.
Actually, that is the prime reason for me to play 4 bowlers. Because when Rohit has more options, he tends to underbowl one horribly. And I don't want that to happen. If he has only 4 bowlers, then Jak Marke Chupcha will have to rotate.
No, I get that. So even Mohammad Aran pointed out something in the first test, which I'll give it to Akshay right now. Can we talk about why Rohit has lost confidence in Ash, he asks. He hesitated to throw the ball to him in the second innings after a superb Bangladesh series. And this is something that even Vikas, our producer, me and him were chatting during the test, saying Ashwin sometimes gives you the confidence when he's on a roll, he's absolutely on it. But sometimes if he doesn't start his spells well, he invariably tends to leak runs. And then I think that third day morning, he struggled a bit. And even to Saudi, he got cleaned up. So essentially, how did Rohit use his bowling resources, Akshay, in a nutshell? And in particular, Ashwin?
See, Ashwin in the first innings, of course, copped a few. In New Zealand's first innings, it was his most expensive spell ever. Minimum 10 overs bowled, वैसे वाला scene था. So I don't know if that played a role. If that did, then that's very myopic of Rohit Sharma. तो एक innings के basis पे रवि अश्विन जैसे legend को तुम कम bowling दोगे तो फिर गए काम से. And secondly, again, in terms of how he went about his over split in the second innings, especially. मतलब जैसे रोहित शर्मा बात करता है ना वैसे ही बात करने का मन कर रहा है वो है ना वो बहुत वो है बस ऐसे बोल के छोड़ देने का because I have no reason absolutely no reason to justify a call like that. And they haven't even come out talking about it or trying to put themselves out there. So it isn't easy. And that is exactly why I'm concerned कि अगर तुम अगले मैच में सिर्फ बुमराह के साथ जाओगे, you can't expect Bumrah to be one of your workhorse bowlers. You'll have to ensure that his workload is also being managed. So in that case, Kuldeep, Jadeja, Ashwin will have to bowl predominantly. अभी मेरे को पता नहीं भाई, मेरे को सही में नहीं पता कि क्या चल रहा है.
Okay.
मतलब how will they go ahead with just 4 options? I would ideally want them to go ahead with someone like an Akshar instead of Siraj. Siraj has been woeful. That's, I guess, something we also have to talk about. Akshar instead of Siraj, and then maybe देखो भाई कि Gill का क्या scene है, Pant का क्या scene है. If Gill has to come in, personally, I think Team India will be resting Sarfaraz. I don't want to say drop; it'll be very harsh. But yes, Shubman will most likely replace Sarfaraz Khan in the 11.
That's tough. That's a tough one for Sarfaraz.
It will be. I mean, it will be horrible to even think about it because you will see spin being bowled, and there is no need to tell who plays spin more better.
No, but it also sends out a wrong message, guys, to like all the plethora of batters and talent we have coming through who's going to bang down the door eventually. I mean, Sarfaraz, 150, does really well in the field at times with his bubbly little energy as a boy, but can't make it to the second test.
No, but again, how does it send the wrong message? Like, my point is, first, he wouldn't have been a part of the 11 in the first place if Shubman Gill was available. That's how I'm looking at this. That's how I'm looking at this.
For example, he kicked on and made a 200. Even on that merit, you wouldn't.
Like Karun Nair scored a triple hundred. He scored a triple hundred, and he'd not played another Test match for India.
Two wrongs don't make it a right.
Now, sorry.
Two wrongs don't make it a right. Make it a right. But take it. Let's see. I don't think it's a. I think it is why it. See, you can understand the logic there. That why he's saying that maybe first 11. But my only point is you are looking too far ahead when you have a portal right in front of you.
Yeah.
If you think that you can just escape it just by like that, then New Zealand will catch you off guard horribly. And God forbid, on a black soil surface, if you lose the toss.
भाई लेकिन अगर ये इंडियन टाइम I understand your point निखिल भाई, लेकिन अगर ये इंडियन बैटिंग लाइनअप इंडिया में न्यूजीलैंड स्पिनर्स को खेलने से कतरा रही है कि भाई सरफराज खान नहीं था इसीलिए हमारे, तो भाई तुम तो मतलब
it is not about Sarfaraz Khan नहीं था इसलिए तुम्हारे. The point will be you dropped a guy who's in form, scoring runs in domestic cricket. He's come to you in Test match cricket, scored when nobody else. I mean, nobody else did. People scored, but he scored. He's the only guy who was not selfless. He was probably selfish and got you a 150 score. And then you're saying कि उसको drop कर दे. When you go spin will be the
बात जो करते हैं वो processes की जो बात करते हैं कि they've clearly.
I understand. I completely buy the point that in your starting 11 for Australia. But again, my point is you're looking too far ahead when you could be not even making that far ahead, because if you lose one of these next 2 tests, there have to be serious answers and people have to be accountable for not being able to contribute. On paper, teams doesn't work. You did not win the World Cup by having the best team on paper. You had a proper mistake at number 6. Did not work out because you knew it will not work out. The same thing is going to happen here. See, this is sounding weird because I have backed KL out so much, but my only point is after a long time, you finally have a domestic guy who's come in and perform. If you drop that guy just because कि तू नहीं खेलने वाला था, but you आया, but even KL was playing only after Mandeep Singh got injured and then he had a run of scores. If you had not backed KL Rahul, then we wouldn't even have KL Rahul now. So again, it's a tough call, both sides, but you'll have to take it.
And it all kind of happens for a reason, and I'm pretty sure cricketers understand this as well. And in fact, Sarfaraz came into the whole scheme of things with Shreyas kind of going out long term. Exactly. Rahane not being there after that whole transition period as well. So it just makes you think. Now, Akshay didn't mention Akshay there and dropping Siraj. Ashutosh Bajpai has popped in his 11, I'm guessing, for the second test in Pune, going with Jaiswal, Rohit, Gill, Kohli, Sarfaraz, Jurel, because he thinks Pant should be rested. I'm guessing Ashutosh, let me know. Akshay, Jadeja, Ashwin, Bumrah, Akashdeep. So he's basically dropped Kuldeep and Siraj in this one. I know you guys are going to be doing a live tomorrow with regards to India's pace battery, Akshay. So I won't really spend too much time asking you about Siraj, but freaking awesome went on to give us one of his comments about Siraj, and I'll throw it to Nix instead. And I want to ask you about how Siraj should be kind of handled before the BGT. We know what he did last time around in India's exploits down under Nix, but freaking awesome going on to say this, that Siraj has been struggling to pick wickets across formats in 2024. 19 wickets in 8 tests, 3 wickets in 3 ODIs, and only 2 wickets in 60 20 internationals. Clearly, he doesn't bowl like a second pacer. That's what the boys will debate tomorrow on the Tuesday show. But what's your 2 pence in this with Siraj? And do you think he will be axed for Pune?
I think he should be rested till you play the BJD. Just give him off. I think he's played too much cricket. And at this point of time, I don't know if he knows what is his best way to go about doing stuff, because, and you could see the way Rohit used him as well. In the second innings, he bowled a good first few overs and then he went for runs. But the second, you did not go to Ashwin, but you brought Siraj back because you want him to get some confidence. See, India has trusted him enough, and that is very, very evident because he plays across formats. But I think the time has come. The numbers also show you that you do not know what to expect from Siraj. And that, I think, is not a good place to be for any pacer. So, and we've spoken at length about how he's far away from being a spearhead. At times, he doesn't even think in terms of it. It comes across as maybe the plans are not being executed. But to me, the moment that strikes to me is the India-Australia World Cup game, where he's come back for a spell and the first ball to Travis Head is short and wide. Now, again, I could be reading into things too much, but to me, it is frustrating because this guy has troubled you for years. Okay, it is 2 years, but that's the one place you would not want to bowl to him. So I think I find Siraj actually very mercurial, and I have compared him to Stuart Broad at the start, and he will have his one spell. But my problem is that one spell cannot take 10 tests. You have to have some amount of control and consistency that, okay, in 3, 4, 5 tests, I'll not take 5, but at least give you a couple of wickets here and there. And I have control moreover. I don't even care about the wickets as much. Just give me good control, build pressure. I don't think Siraj at this point of time is doing it. He's also changes action just before the start of this home series. So I think just rest him, give him some time off. I think Akashdeep doing well will ensure there is enough pressure on Siraj to work, but he can only work when he has an off time. So to me, India needs to give him that off time to just think out loud that what he wants to do with his test career.
Okay, fair points made by Nikhil. Another Nikhil in the comments saying Siraj, his pace is not what it was 3 years ago. Thanks for that, Mr. Baiju. And Siraj won't feel bad getting dropped. He has his DSP gig to fall back on, cheekily saying Mohammad Arhan. DSP Siraj needs some time for cameo and Rohit Shetty Cop Universe. All of you guys tongue in cheek. And Parth pointing out that he's played 30 tests now, Siraj, 80 wickets. I think he's taking it at 30 apiece. We remember that 6 for 15 against South Africa. In South Africa, that 5 for 73, I think it was, in Australia the last time out. He got Smith, Labuschagne, big wickets, not cheap wickets. And I think he got a 5 for in West Indies as well. So, look, Siraj, a test bowler, has all the makings to go on and kick on from here. But it's about managing his workload and getting that mentality in him. Someone like Moni Morkel over there can really take him to a room and be like, listen, Siraj, you have all the fucking traits, mate. Just concentrate, see what you can do to improve your game, and just take every day as a learning day. Lots of comments coming through. I really apologize, Naniko, for Ashutosh Bajpai, who else who have not addressed so far, CD, Pat, Messi, Chiku, Amit Kurai. All your comments are most welcome. Please keep them coming through. I will definitely take them in the 12th man segment. Right, we're almost done and dusted with this India-New Zealand chat. The only one thing I want to talk about is Washington Sundar, because a lot of people have asked about him in the comments as well, guys. What brings about his inclusion? Is it because of the left-handers that New Zealand have, in particular Rachin Ravindra? Is it because of the bounce that it could also generate despite being a black soil surface? He's played 4 tests. He's not played a single test for over 1,000 days. He's done well in those tests that he's played in. And everyone calls him the second Ashwin or the Ashwin understudy. So where are you in Washington Sundar, Akshay? And how do you look at him as a test match cricketer?
It's been a while since I've seen Washi, the red ball player. Abhi recently, I know he did do well against Delhi, scored a fantastic century there, stitched a fantastic partnership with Sai Sudarshan. But yeah, Gaba के बाद तो सही में मुझे लगा था कि Washi has kicked on. अभी मिल गया भाई. Now we found our successor to Ashwin. Tension नहीं है. Has been anything but that. And मतलब again, the way it's not the fact that they've brought Ashwin in. It's the manner. तुम मतलब अचानक से क्यों करते हो यार ये सब? Scored पहले तुम ये क्या हुआ? मतलब what happened between now? I mean, between announcing Washi's inclusion and the first test, कि तुम्हें ये करनी पड़ी. Like चल क्या रहा है? What's like? I refuse to believe that Ashwin is going to be axed. That would मतलब yeah.
Could he be injured? Could he be injured?
मतलब अभी भाई
That's the
साहब
only
तो आज की
possible
बात
explanation.
करते हुए बात तो कर रहे हैं, पता नहीं कहीं पे दिखा नहीं कि इंजर्ड था. No one has ever addressed it. I mean, that's
That is that's the only
that's another
logical.
Tuesday for BCCI. Yeah, that's another Tuesday for BCCI, not to announce anything. तो पता नहीं कि क्या चल रहा है. But yeah, with Washi, I don't know, man. I'll have to see a bit more. It's been a while since I've seen Washi, play some proper red ball cricket. But can he be? I still think potential to it, but injuries haven't been kind to him. He's been very unfortunate with that. He's had 4 injuries in the last 3 years, and that are the worst possible times. Just when he's making a comeback, injury has forced him to go out. So it'll take me some time. Importantly, it'll take him some time to just get back to that groove, figure it out. But as a test, as a red ball batter, I still have a lot of confidence, because one of my concerns with his T20 batting was the fact that he's one of those who tends to take his time. He's a timer of the ball. He's not a tonker. He can't muscle the ball. Utna muscle heavy nahi. So, which is why T20s में he's yet to find his footing at the highest level. TNPL में तो भले बेचारे ने opening पे century मार दिया था, वो highest level पे नहीं हुआ है. Red ball cricket में I don't think that is an issue, because time है. We've seen Gaba, we've seen Chennai against England. We remember that 96 that he scored. So there's a lot to work with. So I don't mind Washi being included, giving a chance, and seeing where he is right now. Century bhi mara against, I would say, not so bad Delhi attack. So dekhte hain kya hota hai.
Okay. Freaking awesome saying Washington Sundar is more effective in white ball cricket, but as a batter, it comes good only when you give him enough time. His kind of batting only works in tests and ODIs. And time again, injuries comes into, like Akshay mentioned, he got COVID as well. So he's taken all the opportunities he can. He's plied his trade in the county circuit as well, not to forget. Path asking, are they saying Washi at number 3 if Gill isn't fit? By then, Gautam Gambhir is coach. You never know what he wants to do. And look, a lot of people have already asked us RCB questions, IPL questions. I think there was one guy saying, Kumaraswamy bhai, I need IPL gossip today. Who was that? I think it was Asmith going on to say that a while ago.
That is as good a meme material like Akshay bhai, Kumaraswamy bhai, mal laya.
Yeah, exactly. And Parth also saying that the IPL chat will begin. We will talk about it right now after this whole India-New Zealand chat. So we're done with that. Let's move on to the IPL, because I know there's Pakistan, England, there's South Africa, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, West Indies to whiz through. We won't really kind of dwell on that too much. But I know you guys are here for the IPL, so we'll go on to that segment next. And what I've been reading lately, it is going to be Riyadh, potentially, not Jeddah. They've done their homework. They've sent BCCI officials there to do some more research on the hotels and the venue in terms of how that could be hosted. So obviously, we saw it last year in Dubai. This year, the options were Dubai, were Singapore, were London, were Abu Dhabi, but they chose Riyadh. There was Vienna. I was thinking, is this a bloody Bond movie or bloody IPL?
Exactly.
Kya ho raha hai?
It's like Jaisha Vienna. It would have been like multiverse of madness. मतलब Jaisha वहाँ पे जाके बच्चों दी करा बताओ.
And bro, like it would be literally, meme worthy if Jaisha opening his car door, his Royal Rolls Royce or whatever, the red carpets rolled off him and like James Bond music, Vienna vibes, and the IPL auction starts. But apparently they pinned in a date, Nikhil, November 24th and 25th, which is day 3 and day 4 of the Perth test. Are they just greedy in terms of grabbing the Indian cricket fan? Because according to me, 8 o'clock or 8:30 will be the first ball that day. It goes on till 3:20 p.m. afternoon time. And then 8 or 10 minutes later, the auction starts on a different streaming platform. So that's the plan. Will you be excited as a cricket fan, but then bothered by it as a cricket professional?
I would say I would be bothered. I think it is something I feel very privileged to be able to do. So, wrong person to ask this question. I would not mind even if it's an overnight fixture. You see games and then it's an overnight thing. But as long as we get the rules in place first, because I think it's going to be a very massive time for a lot of players who are there in the market. Whether it is, how does Mumbai retain? We already heard about SRH and how they have probably could given 23 to Klaasen, which again is debatable whether you want to give it or not. So as long as it's on a match day, I still don't mind it. I don't want to cancel my flight tickets, so it's okay whenever it is.
Akshay, talk to me about some of the gossip which will come too, but in terms of just the auction, how would you want them to kind of position it? Because 24th, 25th, I think, is Sunday and Monday, and that'll be Monday Night Live of some sort, but we'll be definitely doing a auction watch along. I have, I think, a wedding to attend in Delhi or whatever. But anyway, do you think it is right of them to have it during the first test?
See, I can't question right or wrong because they have to look at their logistics, right? They need to ensure that the 50 members, like I'm saying, about 5 to 6 per team into 10 teams, about 50 to 60 members plus the BCCI governing council, that's another 12 to 15 members. So in सबके availability का भी देखना पड़ेगा. So their priority is going to be to ensure these 75 members are available at the same place at the same time. That's it. They couldn't care lesser that Team India is playing simply because वो उनका objective नहीं, उनका prerogative नहीं है. So I'm not thinking too much about it. और भाई, I'm an auction fiend. तुम auction रात के 2 बजे start करो, मैं पूरा का पूरा चाटेगा और replay भी देखेगा और फिर से देखेगा. I've been very vocal about my love for auctions. So I couldn't care lesser. And also, before we sort of get into some of these chats, what I wanted to understand is 75 crores can be split in whatever manner being fit by each of these teams. So if I'm going to retain 2 cap players, let's say I'm going to retain Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar, does that mean I can give 18 and 7 to Rajat and be like, boss, meko itna hi dena? Like, is that allowed? No, the slabs are floats.
18 feet, yeah. I think the slots are fixed that it will probably be 18 and 14 only, no matter how much you pay them. So whichever is higher of sorts. So that is something that I think is taken care of.
तो मतलब मैं अगर 5 प्लेयर रिटेन करता हूँ तो मेरे को 75 crores देना ही है.
And if say like for example if SRH go on and play 83 of their part, 83 will be deducted. But if they give 74, then 74 will not be counted. 75 only will be counted. So
you mentioned SRH over there, guys. I just want to ask you about that 23 crore figure for Klaasen. That is out of syllabus because many people are thinking the slabs are 18, 14, 11 and so on, Akshay. So can you just explain it for the uninitiated, what 23 crores or how they came up with that figure?
So there is method to the madness. From what I understand, apparently a couple of teams approached Klaasen by way of his agent. So it's his agent who's been doing all of these dealings. And they confirmed ki boss, tum auction mein aaja, we're going to bid 23 crores. Simple. And because RTM hai, so now they have the option of quoting an arbitrary number. Like we discussed earlier, तो अगर उसका final bid 11 crore भी हो सकता है, but if SRX decides to RTM, then let's say RCB is one of the teams who's approached them, वो सीधा बोलेगा boss 23 crores. So they can do that. And because of which, and because now Klaasen is privy to that information, he's gone ahead and told SRH कि boss मेरे पास 23 crores का offer है, बाकी तुम्हारे हाथ में, if you want to match it, you can match it. नहीं तो I'll move on. And SRH have decided to match it.
So can other franchisees take a page out of that book?
Yeah, anyone can do it. It's fairly common, right? Like teams approaching. So even with Faf du Plessis, if you remember, before, after the auction, Prathamesh Mishra, Virat Kohli spoke about how they had already approached Faf in November. We're planning on acquiring your services as the next RCB skipper. In fact, if you remember, even Glenn Maxwell's buy, when India went to Australia in 2020, there was that T20I series, concussion substitute, Chahal and all of that. Usi series mein apparently Kohli had approached Maxwell saying, we're interested in, going after you and buying you. So would that be something you like and stuff? So wo to hota hai. Teams approach, players informally just to get a feel of whether the player is happy over there. Is he looking for a change? Would he agree to a higher price or is he very righteous and boss? मेरे को 10 crore भी चलेगा लेकिन मेरे को लॉयल्टी ज्यादा चाहिए वैसे वाले लोग कुछ होते हैं तो you can't buy them out but on the other hand there are a few.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this with regards to RCB then. Take for example Virat Kohli, and let me play devil's advocate here. He's looking at Klaasen 23 crores. Obviously Stark broke that 25 crore mark. Virat could just be like, hey, listen, if you're planning to retain me and someone else or just me, pay me about 28 crores, make me the richest player in the league, and rest of the money you can splash equally. So will RCB do that?
See, that's happened before. 2018, he was the most expensive retention across all 8 teams, 17 crores. Now, the way I look at it is, Virat Kohli sort of in that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he's reached self-actualization. Bro, अभी उसका हो गया, उसका अभी उठ गया कि अभी मेरे को मैं chill है, मैं खुश हूँ, मैं ये हूँ. So I don't think he's that big on this. And also, given the fact that he also would recognize Abhi, he's a lot more understanding of these situations, and I'm pretty sure, under the table, off the cuff, they will have their deals in place to ensure that he's well taken care of. It's not like the 18 crores that he'll be paid, as the IPL fee is the only amount he'll be earning from Royal Challengers Bangalore. So they will take care of him, but I don't see him quoting a higher amount. I don't think he's that egoistic person who would be like, "Nahi, I want to be the most expensive player in IPL." I don't think he's that person.
Before I go to Knicks and CSK and MS Dhoni and him telling the franchise about that call before the deadline, Akshay, I just want to ask you about KL Rahul in terms of the RCB rumors. Now, that's always a name which has excited RCB fans because he's a local boy and all of that. So will it be a case of just retaining Virat Kohli and then splurging so much for a captain that we need on KL Rahul, which could infuriate some fans, and then not looking at players like Patidar, Siraj, moving them on, not even looking at keeping someone like Green and Jax, just keeping Virat and then getting KL? Would that sit right for you as a fan?
See, Kohli and Dayal, I wouldn't mind if RCB go ahead with just Kohli and Dayal as their retentions and enter the auction with 98 crores, which is a nice chunk to hold on to, and then try and RTM as many as you can.
Sorry, Dayal, how much are you going to spend?
4, uncapped. He's going to be uncapped. So 120 minus 22, so 98 apne paas rahega. As far as KL is concerned, I've maintained my stance. KL ticks every box that RCB would want to tick in a top order batter. He can lead, he can keep, so he's adding more value. Importantly, he's a local boy, so from a brand POV and all of that as well, there's going to be a lot to look forward to. And now, given the very recent report that came out on TOI, which stated that apparently the local government, the Karnataka government, has also been arm twisting RCB or the management into buying a few more local players. Which, if there's any truth to it, it's as blasphemous as it can get, because this is extremely unprofessional. And you can crib about it as much as you want as fans. कि यार ये लोग local players को नहीं ले रहे, but that cannot be the objective of a team. यार वो लोग trophy जीतने आ रहे हैं, वो लोग tournament जीतने हैं. वो लोग थोड़ी ना मतलब कर्नाटका क्रिकेट को बढ़ाने आए. So we need to understand the difference between the two. But yeah, all in all,
sorry, the point was also made by Varun Aaron, who we interviewed in the Unwind platform. Go check that out. He mentioned the exact point that local players, RCB, have kind of let go of in the past. If we had given them a longer rope, then potentially things would have been different. But again, it comes from a bias, obviously, all these opinions, right? So does that sit well with you? Because if it is a fan, I look at it fine. If we lose, we lose. Every competition can't be won out there. But I would like to resonate with my players being local and just, I don't know, having Karnataka flavor in it, because I know I'm a hardcore RCB fan, a Karnataka fan, all of that stuff. So sometimes, do you cater to the fan base, or do you just kind of be headstrong in terms of whoever we pick, make sure they're winners, forget about local or not local?
Exactly. Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't buy local players, but if you're going to buy a player just because he is from Karnataka, that's as stupid as it gets. तुम अभिनव मनोहर को लो. I want him to come to RCB, but I want RCB to buy Abhinav Manohar because they think he'll be a great fit for their side, not because he's a local guy. That's as stupid as it gets. Same with KL Rahul. I want them to go for KL Rahul only if they think he'll be a good fit and they can work with him and all of that. ना कि हाँ ये बैंगलोर का है तो उसको ले लेते. That's as stupid as it gets. उसका क्या लेना देना?
Yeah, it's role defining and role positioning, and even someone like K. Gautam comes to mind. All great T20 cricketers who applied their traits for other franchises, done well, and it just makes you think about RCB in that local flavor. Let's move on and talk about other things, including the IPL right now with CSK and MS Dhoni's deadline decision. Next, what's your gut feeling? Is there going to be a last-minute surprise from MSD? Because Kasi's come out on record saying that we're expecting a decision from Dhoni very soon, sometime this week, potentially. He will go down that uncapped player route, right?
I mean, it's confusing because if it was to be, then I don't get the delay. because the rule is out in enough time now. Enough time has passed for the rule has come out. So if it was a yes, I think we should have come by now. So again, I'm secretly hoping it's a no. So then all this noise is void. But again, he's MS. The moment you think you can predict him, he's going to throw you a surprise that you can't even see coming. So I would want him to just enjoy, be part of the setup, but probably as a mentor or somebody. But again, I don't think we can predict what he's going to do.
Okay, but you can tell me as a CSK fan, who are the lock-ins right now? Gaikwad and Jadeja for sure, right?
Three. In my opinion, it should be. Yeah, I think these three are 100% lock, and I hope Akshay is also convinced. Of course,
who are the
different
three?
format by Rachin, Patrana, Gaikwad, and Jadeja.
In
And
that,
also
not
saying
in that order, right?
No order, nahi. Order. I'm not least bothered about the order there, because as you said, these things are only on paper, and I'm sure the franchise takes care of the players in more ways. Like how Rachin found out when he was able to train at the CSK Academy just before the start of the Test series. So Rachin, I think, is also a very big name, and I think the recent test will go a long way in probably just giving them that much more confidence. Yeah, Shivam Dubey, yes, but maybe Rachin is also someone to look at. And I think the call with MS is, to me, even more important because it will help decide for Conway. Because if MS is going to play and keep, then it makes the choice between Conway and Rachin easier for you to make. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, cool. The direct hit saying this about Dhoni and CSK waiting mess to sort out a DC Pant fiasco. Who should CSK use, RTM for Conway or Ravindra? I mean, good questions being asked right now. Your guess is as good as ours. I think there is merit in both because what Conway has done for the franchise they like, and they normally go down with past players as well. I think I would prefer KL and RCB only if he bats number 5, wherein his mind is not cluttered and he needs to smash the ball without worrying about the situation. What is this government arm twisting RCB? Hearing it for the first time, saying Chandan Ramesh, and Vikas saying, but will Dayal agree to 4 crores, Akshay? Because I guess we got him last time for 5.
Itna sab, bhai, Dal would know better than to, try and be smart just for an extra crore. Yeah, he would want to be with RCB, and he's also spoken very highly of the management, of the backroom staff. He's gotten a lot of support. So I'd be very surprised if Dal, rejects an offer of 4 crores.
Okay, let's speed on and take some more comments. Just finish out this IPL chat. Kanan saying RCB should invest in Ashwin as captain for 2 years, and then when he stops playing, move him into the coaching role. And plenty of other comments with regards to the IPL. Just want to finish off with regards to Saresh Saha asking us that question earlier about KKR, because Harshit Rana, of course, didn't play a game, so he remains uncapped, just like Yash Dayal does for RCB. And Ramandeep, we've seen his talents in the Emerging Cup. Do you think they'll probably retain both?
भाई उनके पास कैप्ड ऑप्शंस ही इतने सारे यार, इतने सारे नाम हैं, छोड़ेंगे किसको फिर? For them to be able to hold on to Ramandeep, they'll have to let go of one of Shreyas Iyer or Rinku Singh. Do you see that happening? I don't. So yeah,
that is good. Yeah. Next, quickly on this, do you think both of them will retain? One of them, none of them?
So I said in the retention video as well, I don't mind if they go on to retain both of them and just keep the RTMs with you for the remaining 4. So that way, because again, 4 and 4 is on paper. You can get these 2 guys. They have far more value over a longer period of time. And you've seen Ramandeep what he does already in the Emerging Nation. He's already taken a couple of wickets even today. So I think it should be a very good option. And you want the next Hardik Pandya, right? So retain him then.
Okay, interesting. CD saying Manish Pandey is RCB captain. Bro, this is not Belgavi Blasters, mate. This is not Bangalore Providence playing in the inaugural Carbon Premier League or whatever. And Chandan Ramaya, sorry, I said Chandan Ramesh in that hurry burry. I apologize, Chandan. Great to keep seeing your comments as usual. We'll take all of them in. Directed saying PBS lock in, credible source of today. Arshdeep and Ashutosh, really interesting. So Shashank Singh will be in the auction, which will be
very. Wow. The thing is, I know who the direct hit is. I know he's worked with Punjab and also, मतलब वो भी पता है, but why Ashutosh? Why Ashutosh? And why not Shashank? Like,
yeah, both of them make sense. Yeah. Both of them make sense.
So do you think that how McCallum did it for Shreyas, that Ricky being the coach will say, "Okay, bowl here," and then he'll get out?
You never
होने
know.
को हो सकता है. But I'll be honest, Ashutosh, I don't think is like he had a couple of fantastic cameos that especially the one against Mumbai. But I still think he's a work in progress. Like to be honest, I don't think.
I mean, over session, it will be a shock if you go
And I don't think he's worth 4 crores as well, to be honest. मेरे हिसाब से अगर वो auction आएगा तो वो 2-3 करोड़ में मिल जाएगा because 20 लाख का base price होगा. And that's a fair value of him.
Yeah.
No, that is true. That is true. Ishan Jain, Akshay already answered this question. And Surya Sai, you have a good one. Asmit saying, Akshay, by time for RCB gossip. I don't know if he knows anything more.
मतलब क्या अबे से थोड़ी ना कुछ बोल सकता हूँ मेरे भाई कुछ होना तो चाहिए ना क्या बोलूँ मैं बोल दिया कि हाँ RCB are looking to buy Rohit Sharma भाई बोल दिया.
No, but I want to close out this IPL chat really quick because we're already kind of short for time. And Ishan, he's already answered that question. Just go check it out. X Factor saying, "Bhai, if Pant and Rahul come to the auction, who would you go for?" Imagine Pant, Rahul, and Rohit in the auction. No wonder they're bloody having
Chennai should break the bank for Pant. If they're any serious, I would want Chennai to break the bank for Rishabh.
But where do you see him kind of go to next? Do you actually see CSK as a potential destination?
I mean, why not? I mean, they need a keeper who's Indian, and I mean, the story would just pass on, right? MS goes, Rishabh comes. This is as sweet as it can be, and apparently he's unfollowed them on Instagram. Rishabh is unfollowed Delhi Capitals. I don't know what to make of it. Or whether it is
Jadeja also unfollowed CSK. वो भी सब हुआ था, back in the day. क्या ये सब?
Who knows? Yeah. So again, the discussion happens only because assuming that he comes to the auction. If he does, then I think Chennai should not let go of this opportunity. And I would go Rishabh more than KL because again, more option to work with and more options stick with Rishabh for me at Chennai than KL.
Interesting.
Also, just one thing.
You
Just one thing about
Pant,
sorry?
RCB and CSK bidding war.
हाँ करो भाई who in the same पंत नहीं चाहिए यार पंत ठीक है छोड़ दो पंत के अलावा कोई of course चाहिए भाई लेना है लो I'd be happy to see them bid. But one thing, Ishan Krishan actually about the KL Rahul bit as well. So he was specifically asking us about the what they spoke about in one of these run order episodes that happened. So apparently, yeah, that's a bit of gossip for what it's worth. So RCB already have locked in or to some extent know who the skipper is going to be. So should KL Rahul come in, he won't be a part of RCB as their skipper. So this is what they had to say. And they weren't willing to give out names. But even I've been thinking about this. The only logical explanation to that is Virat Kohli is potentially being wooed to come back to captaining RCB. Because now he has to play only 2 months of T20 cricket throughout the year. He's not playing T20Is anymore. Which means he's got a lot of time to आराम से chill करते हुए जा सकता है. Yeah, it is. So this is a fair point. So it does seem like Virat Kohli has agreed, and I can see where they're coming from because for Andy Flower and Mo Bobart, one thing I've observed is even last year for them they were very clear, like the old cliche goes, one in hand is better than two in the bush. Yeah, one in hand is worth two in the bush. So they want to go into the auction with some certainty. Virat Kohli being the captain means now they don't have to look for captains in the auction, which means it'll give them a lot more flexibility in terms of the kind of players they have to go for without having the burden of whether is he a good leader, can we build a team around him and stuff like that. So I guess this is happening. I don't know if it's Virat, it could be, I don't know, Rajat Patidar for all you know, or even Faf du Plessis. Dekhte kya hota hai.
Yeah, I mean, I like the look of that. Every Virat fan out there would definitely want to see Virat captain again in terms of any team because I don't think that's happening with Team India. Hopefully it happens in Perth. One more test. Just give us that one more test. Virat shouldn't captain again. Might further ruin his legacy, saying Path. And Ishan Jain, thank you for this appreciation. Okay, bye. Thanks. By the way, keep it, guys. He goes on to say, regular viewer of the MNL. Loving it. Look, we'll take Kananbi's question in the 12th man section about Butler and KL and all of that. But we've really enjoyed talking about the IPL and the best of the rest. Let's quickly skim through the other things because there was a small matter of the Women's World Cup final, which, of course, was put out well by us with regards to the review. Go check out that in terms of all the analysis. But really quickly, just looking back at that final, brilliant win for the White Ferns and Amelia Kerr, player of the match, player of the series, absolutely brilliant in terms of what she can go on to further do in her young career. Nix, your word on the winners, New Zealand. because they're maiden title. The first one is always the best.
And how good that the Susie Bates, Sophie Devine moment. I think it was very, very pleasing to see that. I mean, we saw that when India won the World Cup, how emotional Rohit and Virat were about their success. I mean, it is good that you had a new winner. I think cricket is benefiting in that sense a lot more because kya वापस Australia जीता. So that way, I would have been happier if anyone of South Africa or New Zealand win. But I think to come into a tournament on the back of 10 losses and then to go on and with the whole goddamn thing is absolutely Jaimat Ali stuff. Very 2024 like in terms of you can't see. I mean, of course, Hardik saw it coming, and who else in terms of Hardik and Melville from the CDC team predicting New Zealand South Africa playing the final, and then for Melville to go on and eventually get the winner right. It just tells you how unpredictable this game is. You can write thesis. All of us, Jeet, Neha, Swami, they can all actually they can speak at length about whether Carson should be bowling where she is, Tahu, but everybody came through. I think the big part about New Zealand winning was, yes, Medicare took a lot of wickets, but everybody contributed. Plymouth had a great chase. Sophie Bates had a good campaign. You had Sophie Devine scoring in the most important possible match for them against India itself. Tahu came good. Rosemary Mary came good. This is as good a team effort that you can see. And of course, Brooke Halliday had a great game in the final. So I think it was a very good team effort. South Africa, I feel, probably missed out because they did not have that lower order. Even getting into the game, you didn't see Sunil getting into the game too much, Chloe Tehran getting into the game too much. So maybe that's where the all-round ability of New Zealand in terms of everybody contributing came good. So very, very happy for New Zealand. Then, yeah, hopefully they'll win a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a few names there. Bates, Devine, Tahuhu. I think they go down in terms of the oldest women to win a T20 World Cup. So kudos to them. It just kind of resembled Southee Williamson and Ross Taylor winning the World Test Championship. So there are things to draw across in terms of memories. And I feel like New Zealand, South Africa normally rings a rugby final bell in your head, but the Women's World Cup final, brilliant to that. And kudos to Akshay and the team again. Akshay, I'm not going to ask you too much about the final because you've, of course, picked the bones out of it. What was your best moment this World Cup? Because as an Indian fan, obviously a tough one to take because it was a group stage knockout, let alone a knockout. Best moment or the most vivid thing you'll remember this World Cup for?
I'll say two games: West Indies, England, South Africa, Australia. Just two games, two results that we did not see coming. Kiana Joseph, Annika Bosch in both those games, the way they played. I don't think even they themselves will ever be able to repeat something like this because of how enormous the occasion was. But fingers crossed that they really sort of go on to build something really great going forward. But yeah, those two games and those two moments was something that I'll remember for a long time.
Okay, super. And remember, more on women's cricket with our channel. Even though the World Cup's done and dusted, this week's Sledge Box is a women's cricket talking point. And it is something to really, really think about. As much as we love promoting the women's game and all of that, there are few things which still hold us back. And what is that? You'll find out Wednesday this evening on Sledge Box. So go check that out. Right, time to move on from the women's game to talk about a test which happened today in Mirpur. It was supposed to be Shakib Al Hasan's last. It wasn't to be. But nonetheless, lots of things going on there. Bangladesh being rolled over for 106 in their first innings. South Africa 140 for 6 at stump. So 16 wickets, like I said, and 10 to spin. Taijul Islam having an absolute field day, 5 for him. There was a 3 from Maharaj in terms of a South Africa perspective, and I think Rabada got 3, which meant he became the quickest to get to that landmark, 300 test wickets, beating Vakar Yunus's figure, which is good to him. Next, did you see any of the action?
Yeah, loves it, especially that bold dismissal, the one that got him the 300 wicket. Felt very old because I was doing text commentary when Rabada made his debut, and when he picked up a 6 and I was like 6 and I was like, dude, this guy is going to go a long way. And to then watching him take his 300 test wicket, again breaking a milestone, felt very, very happy that again it's come at the same place, in Bangladesh. He made his debut in the same country. So very, very happy for him. Even happier for Vian Mulder because I think for a long period of time we don't know what to expect from Mulder. Then for him to just come in and now he's he opened the bowling today and got wickets just for fun. So happy for South Africa in that sense, because again, the loss that India have had, and if South Africa win a couple, then the WTC race spices up even further. So in that sense, always happy when wickets fall. More so when there are people who you relate to. So happy to see that test. Interested to see how it pans out, because they're only 140 for 6. Now this could go either way. This could be over by tomorrow for what it's worth. So let's see if we see Taijul taking a 10 for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Bangladesh is definitely out of that World Test Championship race to the mace that they're calling it. South Africa, they have a chance to kind of get in, actually, if they win all their 6 tests remaining. They played Sri Lanka twice at home as well. They have this series, and it'll be interesting if they can go into the WTC final. In terms of India's chances, let me just tell you really quickly that Nix has brought it up. India have 7 tests remaining, so they need to win 4 and draw 1. It's a simple equation. So assume we win this series against New Zealand 2-1. That's great. And then we even have a 2-2 drawn affair at the BGT. We'll go through to the WTC at Lords. So going to be interesting. And it's fascinating because Sri Lanka, of course, are in it. Australia in it. Sri Lanka and Australia play each other in the WTC after the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So there's lots to play for in that one. Speaking of this test, freaking awesome saying this is the second lowest total of Bangladesh at home against South Africa, 170. South Africa's lowest score there, not a high scoring venue. And South Africa shouldn't have lost the test series in New Zealand. It was their first ever test series loss in New Zealand. Remember what they did with their team selection there, freaking awesome. And South Africa played with 5 wicketkeepers, saying Sundar should have today, and they're playing 11. I remember that quite vividly. Every time I talk about Bangladesh, South Africa and Test, I think about some crazy partnerships in terms of Graham Smith and Neil McKenzie. I think they got 400 odd or something like that. I remember even Bota Dipino got something against them. Jack Rudolph with the triple ton. The various moments which pop up. Let's move on and ask Akshay what he thought about Pakistan's win. Did you see any of that in the second test in Multan on a day 6, 7, 8, 9 pitch?
I followed the game, did not see it, of course. I was busy with the Women's World Cup. But yeah, it was great to see Norman and Sajid, if I'm not wrong. Sajid, both of them doing fantastically well. And the second innings, that what sort of I distinctly remember is the fact that 2 ही bowlers के साथ पूरा innings ही निपट गया वहाँ पे in the second innings. But yeah, Sajid, I'd seen him for the first time way back in 2021, yeah. Because I remember his clips doing the rounds of social media, and that's how I caught glimpses of him. And that slightly unorthodox action is what caught my eye. But it's so good to see him, do well for Pakistan. And then, of course, there was Kamran Ghulam. Am I getting the name right? Yeah, number 3 पे आके बाबर आजम को replace करके century बना दिया भाई. और क्या चाहिए? Good to see that Pakistan have finally found someone who's scoring a few runs. I know it's not a permanent solution. Babar Azam will be back whenever he's ready. But at least in the interim, they've found someone who can score runs. So it also means that Babar Azam can sort of breathe easy. The pressure won't be there. Yaar, koi aur khel nahi raha, have to come back soon. So hopefully he also comes back, with the needed intent and importantly some hunger in his belly.
Yeah, they have to kind of reintegrate those 3, Naseem, Shaheen included. And it bodes well for Pakistan with Kamran Ghulam coming in, and it tightens their middle order, which has been amazing for them. We talk about Saud Shakil, Rizwan, and Salman. Salman at number 7 has been scoring runs for fun. He played a huge part this time around as well. He didn't need to bowl because Norman and Sajid was so good. Sajid, you brought it there to my mind, where we remember that Pakistan-Australia series, and he had a little tiff with Warner. What is it with ball cricketers doing kabaddi celebrations, guys? That's what things stands out to me. Every time he takes a wicket, he kind of gives it his all. And really quickly, next, about the Pakistan win in Multan. Does that now give them confidence to go on and do something in Pindi? Because you're thinking to yourself, yes, they were in an absolute shit run of form, but now have they found their key to success? Have they kind of learned how to exploit their home conditions better instead of just national highways as pitches?
I mean, you'd want to believe, but I think one test is still a bit too early to say. Remember, it is still a very good break for them to catch a break that they have finally won at home. I think we've already seen fans across Rawalpindi at both ends trying to just ensure that jitna dry ho sake dry bana do. But it also will bring England into the picture. What I think England will be very smart about is they've now realized what Pakistan are playing at. And because we have to see a bit more practical, that in the second test, they wouldn't know exactly what would be the exact nature. Now they will be even more sure. So now I think which when the battle will be even better, because I think England would still do those drop catches. They dropped Salman Ali Agha very, very early into their innings. And eventually he was the difference between the two sides, given that he got them that extra score. So I think they will be smarter. For Pakistan, this is a good start. Now, this is something that they have to build on. And I would not be very, very sure, okay, this is the way, because just 2 weeks back, you had Shan Masood Gillespie saying, okay, get the grass green and we'll get the seamers into the play. There's no one way. I mean, even India speak about taking conditions out of equation and then saying, okay, now we want a slow turner in Pune. No, we should not take anybody too seriously in terms of what they say. So, build on this one. Yes, I'll want a turner in Rawalpindi. You win there. Maybe that is something that you can think that, okay, let's see how we go about from here, because it's easy for others also to plan them if they know what to expect. So let's see how that eventually pans out.
Yeah, something they say cross sport, don't get too high when you win or too low when you lose. It's just build on it. So Pakistan can take that cliche into their consideration. Let's quickly then move on to Akshay's quiz. But before we do so, Sri Lanka West Indies is going on. I'll be honest, guys, not a single ball I've seen in this series. I've just been following scorecards. Have I seen anything which has caught my eye on social media from this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Watch Velalage taking wickets on his debut game. You can watch Asalanka scoring 77. Most importantly, watch Sarfaraz Rutherford in the first ODI. Very good now. Very good. Eventually, Sri Lanka won because the rain came at the wrong time for West Indies, just when they were starting to rebuild and get a good score. But I think Chase, if I'm not wrong, I need to see it again. There were some rumors about West Indies not being happy about spin surfaces. Why chhod dena? I mean, the world has gone too far for you to think, why are Sri Lanka playing on spin surfaces? Do what's there in front of you.
Yeah, remember, Sri Lanka West Indies goes on till the 26th of October before the West Indies go back home to face England in a series, an ODI series. Apparently, Butler's pulled out of that. Livingston will lead that. So that is it for the Sri Lanka West Indies chat. We apologize. We've just skimmed through that because in the interest of time, we want to run by as much as we could. Finally, in the best of the rest, then, what is it to watch? Plenty of cricketing action, international action. You can watch the second day. I think it's on Fan Code, Bangladesh, South Africa. Enjoy that one. Then Sri Lanka West Indies, I think, is on Sony Live. Thursday, you'll see a lot of test match action, including India, New Zealand, and Pune. So watch out for that. And the Pindi pitch, how will it play out? You can catch that as well on Thursday. And of course, it follows on the weekends. Right, time to, of course, take your questions. But before that, it's the quiz that you guys have been loving. Let's see what Akshay has this week. Right, so what is it this week? I know it's a themed one, but for the sake of last week's competition, who won it? And tell us the rest.
Yes, there we go. The questions in front of us. Given that there were so many coach signings happening in the IPL, so thought कि उसके ऊपर ही question करते हैं. That was the question last week. The recent spate of coach signings have all been rare occurrences. Only 3 IPL coaches have come back to be the head coach of the same side. Separately, there have been only 3 instances of someone being the head coach of 3 different IPL franchises. This was the question. So all you guys had to do was name all 6 coaches. Yahan pe, of course, the answer being, in terms of the 3 IPL coaches who've come back to be the head coach of the same side, it is Rahul Dravid, earlier coach RR, now he's back with them again. Mahela Jayawardene being the second one, and the third being Tom Moody, who after a brief hiatus came back to coach them in 2022. And for the second set of 3 coaches who've been the head coach of 3 separate franchises, I stand corrected on that. Unfortunately, it's 2 and not 3. It's Ricky Ponting, who's been the head coach of Mumbai Indians, Delhi Capitals, and now, of course, it is Punjab Kings, and Trevor Bayliss, who's coached Punjab Kings, who's coached Sunrisers Hyderabad and Kolkata Knight Riders. I also thought Gary Kirsten was one of the names because Delhi Daredevils, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and Gujarat Titans. But he was the mentor. He was a mentor for Gujarat Titans and not coach. So it's 2 and 3, so 5. There was Prasad Samhadri who got all of them right. He in fact named 3 because he thought there were 3. He'd gone for his 6th name as well. It's all right. It's on me. So congratulations on getting it right. please do get in touch with us on Twitter and we'll do the needful. This time you won yourself Olio coupon, so you get to eat some piping hot pizzas. Do have them and let us know how it was. Just a shout out, I know there were a few others who mentioned Paddy Upton. Paddy Upton never really coached Pune Warriors India, unlike what his Wikipedia page suggests. I had to do 3 rounds of research to confirm that he was only a mental health and conditioning coach for them. So which is why he won't be considered. There you go. And yeah, of course, sorry, that's this week's Howzzat. I completely forgot about that. Where is the question for this week? There is the question for this week. Very simple, yaar. Again, sticking to the theme, 50th episode hai. Thoda hum bhi purane dinon ko yaad karte hain. Name all the cricketers to have featured in the first 50 episodes of Monday Night Live. Bonus points, you get an extra voucher if you can name the episodes as well. So that's where it gets slightly tricky. मतलब तुम players के नाम तो ऐसे बोलोगे अभी. If you want to win an extra voucher, and once again, guys, it's Olio coupon, so piping hot pizzas. So if you want to win an extra pizza, do let us know which episodes did those respective cricketers feature in, and of course, we'll be more than happy to share some pizzas with you.
It's an easy one. It's
We have the ritual. We've done the ritual. Cheers.
We've done the ritual on episode 50. I'm saying it's an easy one to, of course, check it out in terms of this week's answer, but there's a lot of homework you guys need to do in terms of the Monday Night Live research. So good one from Akshay's bit. Before I go to the 12th man section and take some of your great comments, let me just fire out the winners of the MNL Awards that we were talking about earlier. Now, the first winner was Sachin's comment. I think you guys saw it earlier. So well done, Sachin. Keep your comments coming through. It was a great one. I think this one was asked to Akshay in terms of Akshay, what are you smoking and all of that stuff. So it was a funny one, but
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
He got out of Akshay. So well done to that. Best monologue, plenty of it, but I'll take the honorable mentions to that one. I don't know why this picture of me. It's like I've woken up and been dragged to like a police station to do a headshot session, and I'm just like, what the hell is that happening?
This is what I'll find in Shivaji Nagar police station the next time I go.
You know, like pickpocketer sheets and stuff like that. I look like a pickpocket over there, but thanks for that, Manish and Shaunak. And best MNL guest, we've done a live poll, and you guys have decided unanimously it is Graham Swanny with the winner on that. So I'll tell him, I'll message him, and I'll inform him about that. And of course, the best rant goes to Akshay and Avnish discussing Dhoni's fate. I mean, it's only going to be great to see that once you guys go back and check it out in terms of all that stuff, because it's still relevant and there's still 10 days for Dhoni to make that decision. Whether he makes Akshay look a fool or me, only time will tell. And finally, because this is the 50th episode and all of that fluff, we've designed a little highlights video in terms of how this journey has been. Take a look before we move on to the 12th man section. So, one and all, you're watching the Monday Night Live show.
Bro, I'll tell you the truth.
For the next 55,000 Mondays, that's what we proposed at least, that we're going to be doing a live show.
Hello, Road Basil. Hello.
Akshay being against India is a known superstition. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, as an RCB fan, I'm a pioneer when it comes to reverse jinxing.
You're a huge CSK fan, but of course, that Friday game will be RCB's, I'm guessing.
No, absolutely not.
Two-letter word. No. The rumours are that Virat Kohli will be returning in the next Test match.
Monday night show. That's a big one.
We won't get England to have 3 defeats, but we would love it as Indian fans. We'll keep that there, James.
I wasn't even really paying much attention to the auction at all.
That's how you're going to leave me, is it? That's how you're
I want him to lift that World Cup.
As you can see, in the Gujarat, no way. Can't do that. In the Hyderabad, no, I actually can't do that. Honestly, get out of it. In the LSG, honestly, can't do that, man. Honestly, can't do any of this. Because you know why? There's only one team I support, and that is the Bengaluru team.
They give you consistent returns.
Yes. Look at his numbers. Last strike rate was over 160. Right, go on that. I don't know, with the Hans Zimmer music, it made it look like an absolute Tenet Part 2 sort of movie. It wasn't that. It's just MNL, your local cricket podcast, but it's gone places and how. So that was just a reflection of the last 50 episodes in a nutshell. And you guys have made it big because of your greatness in terms of comments. And we'll take all of them, as we always do in every podcast, in the last and final section. It's called the 12th Man. Right, plenty of questions to get into, and let's start with Harsh Tiwari, who had this one saying, kudos guys, do we see Pudji coming back, having scored his 18th first-class double ton, the most by an Indian. In fact, there was a chat last week we had whether he'll be the reserve opener and stuff for the BGT. Pudji, the ship is sailed, right, Nix?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we would love it, but I think time's come. We're already debating who between Sarfaraz and KL should play, so as harsh or tough it is, but I would love to see him play Ranji Trophy, but yeah, India time is done, I think.
Okay, interesting. Salbin Datta having this to say, Akshay, I would have ideally wanted Bumrah to rest in one of these test matches against New Zealand before the BGT. First test loss has thrown that out of the window. Hopefully he can carry his body in the 7 tests to come. Do you agree with him? Do you agree that Bumrah should be managed now that India need 4 wins out of 7 to get to the WTC final? How do they chop and change?
Yeah, to be honest, I was surprised to begin with कि he was a part of the squad. I remember Nikhil and I discussing कि वो squad में क्यों वो खेल ही क्यों रहा है. But this loss has definitely meant कि boss Bumrah को तो अभी खेलना पड़ेगा अगले 2 tests. And at the 5 BGT tests, I don't know. I'm just hoping the 3rd or the 4th test, you know, if the result seems one-sided either way, एक टेस्ट उसको मतलब रेस्ट करा तो भाई मतलब मैं बस सोच के कि उसको 7 टेस्ट खेलना अगले 3 महीने में मेरे को इंजरी हो रहा है. I can't even imagine usko kya ho raha hoga. So I just hope he somehow pulls through.
Okay, super. X Factor saying, Bhai, just underrated opinion that Tristan Stubbs is going to be the next ABD. Matlab, he has all the shots and better than Klaasen. Remember the comment, and my name is Priyanshu. I just changed my name. Okay, thanks for that, X Factor. Nix, do you agree with him, Stubbs? Because ABD is huge shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start. I'll say he's getting there in terms of how much impact he's had, given that he's also someone who can play, you know, the shots that ABD does. But I wouldn't want to compare him to ABD. Just let him be Tristan Stubbs because again, he's going to bat higher up the order, just like ABD did for South Africa. So very early start. But even if he does half of what ABD had the potential of, I think South Africa will take it. And yes, I also believe Stubbs has the job.
Yeah, I think he played spin quite well today, even though he got out. Showed the reverse sweep, showed the fact that he can go back and, of course, cut and pull. Yes, apparently DC wants Akshay to be captain is the next question we have in the 12th man segment, asking Chandan Ramaya. That's Akshar's best friend, Akshay Patel. Do you think he'll be good enough to be a captain now in the IPL? Is he captain before? He's captain Punjab, hasn't he?
Yeah. Has he? I don't think he's ever captain before. Stopgap?
Man, they made everyone captain. Even Murli Vijay, Ashwin, Akshay, they might have everyone as captain.
Pata nahi. Don't remember. Could be. It'll be baffling, yaar. Agar Pant ko chhod ke Akshay ko captain bana de, it'll be baffling. It'll be
a very Delhi thing. It will be a very Delhi thing to do.
It will be a very GMR Delhi thing. Again, to be clear, I don't want to simply drag JSW unnecessarily. बेचारे लोग 3 साल अच्छा काम करके जाते हैं और GMR आके सब हक के चला जाता है और नाम वो बदनाम होता है. But yeah, it'll almost be as bad as SRH letting go of Rashid to retain Kane Williamson. I hope it doesn't happen. Because I don't think Akshay has ever captained in general. मतलब domestic circuit में भी वो captain नहीं है भाई. तो कहाँ से तुम बनाओगे मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Okay, speaking of SRH, like you mentioned over there, Surya Sai had one earlier saying, should SRH retain Abdul Samad after his 200s in the Ranji Trophy? Nix, what do you feel?
I mean, I would have anyways wanted him even without those 200s because I feel there's a lot of potential there. And India want people who are able to hit pace down the order. So again, the problem with SRH is the people that they already have. There's a lot of issues there in terms of who do you keep, who do you not keep. So if they're able to buy him back, then please do that. I don't think retention is a possibility at this point of time.
Okay, last couple of days.
Abhishek and Nitish, sorry, and you will obviously have Klaasen and others, but bad comments, so no space.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, because Abhishek and Nitish are just head and shoulders above the rest of the local talent that SRH possess of. Last couple of questions before we wrap up proceedings. I know it's been an elongated one, but hope you guys have had fun in this Monday Night Live podcast, episode 50. Akshay Karan, had this one earlier, which I promised I'd take. Now, he asked, what if KL in Rajasthan Royals is a replacement for Butler? KL, Jaiswal, Samson, Parag is a formidable Indian top four. KL would also have it fairly easy, being around 3 explosive batters. And it could be Captain Rahul, Captain and Coach Rahul.
Is it just me or
Akshay's gone. I think Akshay is gone. He's literally, his internet has died in episode 50. So next, I'll give that to you then before Akshay sorts his internet out.
Yeah, it took me exactly how Akshay's internet has reacted to think about KL Rahul in the pink. I don't know if there is space. I don't know if he's, again, you can understand, yeah, Butler replacement, okay, maybe possible. I don't know if there is enough room for them to have another guy batting in the top four, especially KL, because you already have an established pair with Butler and Jaiswal doing so well for years. Butler's returns have tapered off, but I think the problem still is more with getting middle order all-rounder or a pacer of that sort. So I think that's where they'll probably want to focus. If he goes there, anywhere KL Rahul bats at a strike rate of over 170, I have no problem. Anywhere below, I have a problem. Bottom line.
Fair. CD saying, just curious to ask, which team does Nickelby support in the IPL? CSK, lad.
Yeah, Thoda CSK bias obviously, but yeah, everybody else is on the same page.
For sure. Power having, guys, why do you think Indian batters struggle against tall, fast bowlers? Everyone in the world does, man. I mean, who doesn't? And those examples that you've cited there, Power, are good ones. Will O'Rourke was absolutely brilliant. The ball that he bowled to Virat, albeit the conditions as well, was fantastic in terms of just banging his kind of good length. I was gonna just say banging his arm on a good length and bending his back. That's what I was kind of looking for. Satosh Shilpa saying Mark Pepper added to the England squad. Now they have Salt Pepper. Yeah, that joke was always on the cards. It will be interesting to see Gill versus O'Rourke. Going on to say that. And why doesn't Brevis play any internationals? It'll be interesting to see if that is the case. Akshay's back on, by the way. And Parth saying, predict IPL price of these players if they're available. Rohit, Surya, Pant, KL. Please take this one, he says. So we'll take this one and we'll kindly F off. So Akshay, can you predict the IPL price of these players in order? Rohit first.
Okay. Rohit, I'd have to say 28 crores.
Even I was actually going to go for that number, funnily enough. Next, you agree? 28, higher or lower?
Yeah. I think something in the same range, probably 24 to 28. I think that would be a fair value.
Okay, Surya?
I'd go slightly higher. There's a bit of personal bias because we also rate these players, a certain way. I'd probably go, I'd break the bank. मतलब रोहित के लिए भी तो बैंक पूरा तोड़ दिया है. 30 से 32, 30 to 32 crores for Surya.
Yeah, I think anything in excess of 30 crores, and I think Nick agrees as well. Pant, I think also because he's a wicketkeeper, age, captain profile, left-hander, maybe even more than Surya, even though the T20 format suits Surya more, but I could be wrong over there. And finally, KL, I don't know, 18 crores, 20 crores?
KL, I'd go 20 to 24, just a notch below Rohit, 20 to 24 for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes beyond as well, but itna to banta uska.
Yeah, 25 I think is a good number.
It is a good number. KKR leaving Iyer, who knows? Okay.
Venkatesh Iyer, yes. Shreyas Iyer, no, to be clear.
Even Venkatesh, I don't think will leave, but let's see.
Kahan jagah hai bhai?
Again, they retain Venkatesh over Shubman Gill. There is no way on earth I can.
You can't put Chandu Pandit and Venkatesh Iyer, bro. They go hand in hand. I'm pretty sure if Chandu Pandit gets the India job, we'll bring back Venkatesh Iyer wherever he is in the out.
But Indians kitne retain karoge mere bhai?
They'll buy him back. No, they'll buy him back.
They'll buy him back. I'm saying retention ki baat kar raha hu. Retain nahi hoga. Buying him back is a different thing.
मैं तो retain बोल रहा हूँ. Nobody, KKR should not retain anybody.
That is true. Nitin saying Rashid to Emma, get out of here. Nitin, if they get that,
SA20 is enough.
Yeah,
SA20 is enough.
But from what I understand, there apparently is an ownership change that's happening with Gujarat Titans. Right now, it's going to be unofficial, matlab, because CVC Capital, who own Gujarat Titans right now, have a 6-year hardbound contract, or rather 10-year hardbound contract. They can't let go of it, but they can sort of sublease it to someone else who also owns a WPL team from the same state. Get the hint? These are the talks going on, because that particular ownership, management, definitely wanted to get into IPL. In fact, they were the losing bidders by just a tiny whisker. So wouldn't be surprised there.
Okay, super. Look, guys, we've gone way overboard in terms of time accommodated for a Monday Night Live podcast. Normally, I'd like to squeeze everything in before an hour and a half, but the awards and all of that and your comments, as usual, has made this yet again a fantastic show. Thank you so much. Apologies that I couldn't take comments like this about Prithvi Shaw or about resting Bumrah after a 3-0 lead in the BGT, according to Pranavana. And Sudarshan and Sandhu. Plans for the next 50 episode? Well, we have a lot of it. Guests, more sections, more ways
more
to
foreign locations.
More foreign locations. More tantrums, more rants, more conversations. And building community is what we believed in, and we'll stick with that ethos. We're so close, touching distance to 96K subscribers on YouTube. Please do us a favor and, of course, subscribe if you're new and like this video, spread the word, and join the cricket.com bandwagon already. Nick, Akshay, thank you so much for your time. I think my mum's been howling from downstairs for dinner. I think I'll go and get that done. Have a fantastic week, you two, and there's great things ahead. And a happy Diwali from our end. I know we will have another MNL before Diwali, but just generally, if you guys have started the festivities, onwards and upwards, and wish you guys all the best. Until the next time, so goodbye from 3 of us. Hit like, and we'll see you in tomorrow's live at 5 p.m. Cheers.